Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of When a Podcast Calls on an Earful podcast. If you didn't know, this is the horror variety channel, horror variety show, in which we're going to talk all about the Scream franchise today. And I'm joined by Matty.
What's up?
How do, mate?
We're good, man. Are you?
I'm good, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Making our way through the Screams just in time.
Scream week now as we record this, isn't it? So,
exactly.
Mate, I'm so excited for Friday.
I'm buzzing. I'm just trying to avoid all spoilers at all costs.
Yeah, avoid everything now.
Yeah, because people have watched it already. You know what I mean? It's been at the
that's what's scary
premieres
about
and stuff like that. So it's out there. It's out there. So it's just making sure I don't fucking see it. Yeah, that'd be the worst thing to spoil that though, wouldn't it? Like I was trying to avoid Halloween Kills like spoilers at all costs, but I think I'd probably be a bit more pissed off.
You had the script for Halloween Kills.
Well, I did, and I read a little bit of the beginning of it.
That annoyed me so much.
But do you know what? Like, if someone told me the ending to Halloween Kills, then told me the ending to like Scream, I'd probably be a bit more pissed off about Scream because it's the whole thing. That's what Scream's about, isn't it? Like trying to figure out who the killer is.
Yeah. So I was gonna say this. Like, we were watching it again, me and Jess, and I was like, this is like just a who's done it. You know, if it was a drama and you didn't see the kills that bloody, it would be like a drama murder mystery who's done it.
Yeah.
Midsummer murder shit, you know. But now that we do and it gets brutal, it's a great horror.
Do you know what? It'd be cool to get like a Cluedo version of Scream. How good that'd be for a board game.
I'd like that.
Yeah. It's like a gory Cluedo, isn't it?
I've never played Cluedo, but yeah.
Not in some posh mansion in the middle of Buckinghamshire or something like that in England.
No, it's just the high school from Halloween H2O.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, there's Scream 3 for you. But yeah, what we're going to do today is we could talk about each film and it'd be a full podcast, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, you know, in future lead up to releases, that's what we will do, is a watch along and say like, hey, so for example, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre we've got coming out.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down with whoever wants to join me and we'll go Texas Chainsaw 1, 2, 3 and keep going through the franchise until we get to the release.
Yeah.
Regardless of timelines and whatever, let's just get excited for the film, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously the podcast launched maybe 2 days ago from recording this. Oh, when this is released, that is. So we didn't have time to do it one at a time. So we've jam-packed this all into one.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got quite a lot of notes written down here now. I'm looking at it. So.
Right, well, so what we're going to do, we'll go through each one, giving our initial thoughts about the whole like story and everything about it. Favorite kills, if there's anything you dislike, and then finish off with just overall, how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
So I guess we just go straight into it with Scream 1. Well, yeah. Scream.
So yeah, just set up straight away from that beginning scene. You brought
that beginning scene.
Yeah, like I think that's the one thing. Every time you think of Scream, that's the one thing you think about, and it's a character that you've not even been properly introduced to. Do you know what I mean? And she was quite. I think she was quite a big actor at the time. Once she was like up and coming, and she was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she was going to be the main character in this, wasn't she?
Yeah,
Drew Barrymore.
And she gets killed off straight away. So I think that pretty much set the premise for like the rest of the fucking franchise. Really, like the fact that they can kill someone like that off in an instant.
I wish, because this came out in 1996, and that was the year I was born. I wish I was like a teenager, able to watch that in the cinema and be like, let's go watch this new Drew Barrymore horror film because she's on the poster and all that, and then see her killed off in a matter of for the opening few minutes.
Yeah, mom.
And also like how it's the whole opening is so good because it's horror trivia that you recognize in other horror movies in this horror movie. It makes jokes at itself because one of those horror movies is Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, so he's having jabs at himself and it's fun and jokey. The killer's clumsy as fuck, and then the kill that Casey does get and that zoom in when she's hanging from the tree just how brutal it is seeing her being dragged all bloody and she's holding the phone to her mum and you're like, oh fuck.
Casey baby.
Casey baby. Oh, the best quote of the whole movie.
But yeah, no, I 100% get what you mean, because like it's got sort of a bit of that slapstick, like
yeah, you
slapstickiness
feel like...
to it. If that's not even a word, I've just made it up. But yeah.
no, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
slapstickiness.
Yeah. He's got that sort of vibe to him. Do you know what I mean? The Ghostface, but then also you just wouldn't want to be in the same fucking room as him, would you? So
no, like it's so weird because you never see any other killer falling over.
No,
like the way he does. You know,
the only one that matches him with humor is Freddy Krueger, and again Wes Craven. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you see him playing around with this whole thing anyway. So
yeah, so like you mentioned again, so like the whole referencing other horror movies as well, and this was cool. So obviously back when it first came out, that would have been cool to see like a movie referencing like A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and movies like
Killer
that.
and Friday the 13th.
It's fucking cool.
You're
man.
trying to work it out yourself, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like for horror fans as well, watching that, it's awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that adds a bit of extra flavor to the beginning of that movie.
It's also not like your big horror titles. Town the Dreaded Sundown gets mentioned as well. So it's like, big horror fans will hear that and be like, oh shit.
Wes fucking knows what we want, and that's what he gave us with Scream.
Mate, it's so good. Yeah, this is just I can't imagine, not having Scream. It is an iconic, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's because I'm looking back and it's like 25 years ago,
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. That was easy to work out.
25 years. But yeah, what was going to say now? So without going full nerd again, like, so watching through these movies again now, like, I'm noticing the different masks, and I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yeah,
but the two different masks that were used in this film, and you've got the K&B one and you've got the normal one. You've got the normal, like, Generation 1 Fantastic Faces mask. If you look at the opening sequence now, you can see both of those masks, and the K&B one, especially when Casey's getting chased and Ghostface grabs hold of her and pulls her back to stab her.
Yeah.
If you pause that, you can see the K&B mask, which looks completely different to the other one.
Is it a noticeable difference?
Yeah,
I know you're saying that, but you're into
the
masks and you collect them, so I don't know what I'm looking for there.
The K&B is a lot more rounded, so obviously I'll put the photo up here, but I'll also just going to show it on the screen as well, really quick.
Get to talk about masks. You'll take that opportunity.
No, because I want people to look at it and then be able to see it in the film.
I want to ruin Scream for people, so it's been 25 years. So
that's the K&B mask.
Okay, are we talking about the rounding under the eyes or on the top of the forehead?
Well, both. The forehead's a lot more rounded, and then this mask that I've got here is like one of the ones that they would have bought to use in Scream 1 at the time. So
okay.
That's the Gen 1.
Right, yeah, I see what you mean. It's more like a square.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Oh, look at this. Mask 101.
You wouldn't even notice it. Like, I never noticed it before going into collecting, and like you'd never notice it anyway, but now it's like, no, I know I'm looking out for it for the whole
you've
film.
ruined it for me. Thank you. Can't wait to watch these again.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So even in so the reason for that is because some of the scenes, especially with Drew Barrymore and Henry Winkler, it's those two scenes in particular where you see the K&B, because they'd already filmed the movie with parts of the movie with that K&B mask because they couldn't get the rights to the Fun World one.
Right.
Yeah, they couldn't get the rights to Fun World from it. Yeah, they were still waiting on that. So obviously they filmed some scenes, but they couldn't afford to reshoot those scenes again and get pay for Henry Winkler again and pay for Drew Barrymore again. So they kept it in, and I've known for the whole like decades that I've been watching, decade or so I've been watching Scream. I've never noticed until I got into it, and now I can't unsee it. So everyone can have the same issues now.
Oh, make people regret listening to this podcast on the first episode. Thanks.
Sorry. Yeah, there's another weird one as well where you see a reflection in the window during Casey, and you see like the normal master. I think it's either the normal mask or the K&B reflected in the mask that you see.
The opposite mask of what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
And is that when he's chasing Casey and is like lurking around?
Just during that beginning scene, you'll just see it at different points. It keeps changing throughout. Like there'll be a bit where he's chasing her, and it's the normal Gen 1 mask, and then next minute he's up close with Casey, and it's the KMB one, and it's like it's crazy. They just change.
That's the nature of like shooting, though, isn't it? You never they don't shoot in the way of the story, but just what's easiest and more approachable to do at the time of the set and stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, look out when you see that beginning intro bit, the beginning scene, and also when you see the principal die.
Well, we'll get on to that in a bit. But am I right in saying, is it just Scream that has like swapping of masks? Because then it's consistent for the rest of the franchise, or do they change later on? Yeah,
so for the rest of the franchises, they get the same company from World supplied the masks to the sets, but sometimes they add so I think there's 2 different variants for each movie pretty much, and they've all got the different names within the mask community, just to sort of separate them when you know what's what. And when you look in the films as well, you can the most identifiable ones are within the first movie because they're so different in shape and stuff.
It's so second one again, you know what you're looking for.
And the second one again, you can tell with it but like when you get to sort of like the third and fourth ones, I guess the fourth one's a bit more identifiable, but they get a bit more subtle in between them both. But the Scream one you can tell easily from a mile.
I'm gonna keep you looking out for that now.
Yeah, keep your eye out.
So yeah, like my only notes for this were that opening because of how good it is, but the rest of the film is amazing as well with like the who done it. You're trying to work it out amongst like friend groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, rules of a horror movie, which I guess has never been.
Well, it's also like it's tricking you throughout as well into thinking like, oh shit, so it's going to be, Billy's going to be the killer, but oh wait, Billy can't be the killer because Billy was somewhere else at the time of the murder. That as
we found a phone and like the mask on him.
So then you forget about Billy being the killer. Oh, it must be someone else. And then at the end, it's like, oh shit, there's 2 of them. Twist, no fucking way, Like, it's crazy. I love it. And, so misleading throughout.
I suppose like later on when we talk about, you know, the following films in the franchise, again, it is just trying to take you one way and they'd be like, nope, it's over here.
Exactly. You know? I love it.
For me, my favorite scene of the whole movie is when it's Billy and Stu confronting Sydney, and you know, oh, my parents are gonna be so mad at me. All that, dude. That whole scene is just fun to watch every time.
The end kitchen scene is just amazing. Like again, the referencing like horror films and blaming it on the movies, and then stabbing each other, and then. Yeah, like you said, it's the relationship between Billy and Stu, but like obviously more notably Matthew Lillard and Skeet, like them together just work fucking perfectly. Like you can tell the bros as well in person. Like
100%.
Going to that horror convention and seeing them both talk to each other, like it's that they've known each other. Well, they have obviously known each other.
Well, I think they have.
But they just gel. They just fucking gel perfectly, man, and that's what created such a good like. Character base between them both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just bits that they improvise as well on that. So like Stu getting hit with a phone when Billy chucks it, like that wasn't supposed to happen.
Phone, dick. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was all improvised because apparently it was stuck to Skeet's hand, that you know, because they had like the corn syrup with the blood.
Like blood.
Yeah, so when he chucked it, the phone sort of stuck to his hand and it like sort of like ended up hitting him in the head, and then he just carried on with that. Yeah.
Honestly, Matthew Lillard's character in this, like, he does incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like anyone else could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just his weird mannerisms as well that only work for this character.
So true, mate, and it sells it perfectly.
Yeah. Like, I can't see, like, Skeet Ulrich doing that and I'd be like, yeah, that suits his character. It doesn't.
No.
But, like, the goofy... you know, character of Stu, I feel works.
Yeah, 100%.
Even when they're winding Randy up in the
video
store, and it's like, you? And they're like, he's doing all that with his face. Oh, it's so good.
Well, that's it between them both. Then they're trying to figure out who the killer is, and then obviously Randy's going on about his horror movies, and then he's saying that he still thinks Billy's the killer, but yeah, it's just when you look back on the film as well after you watched it, it's even more enjoyable when you know where the kills are, because you're looking, you're thinking, fucking hell, that's Sly, that.
Yeah,
like, you see the points where it's trying to give you hints, but then it's not at the same time.
Yeah, that scene in the video store should be so obvious. Once you know who it is, once you know it's Billy and Stu, it's like, right, well, that scene in the video store cements that perfectly, because they're both intimidating Randy, and it's such a red flag on your first watch. I'd love to watch this for the first time again.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine that?
That's a dream. If there ever was one. If I had 3 wishes, it would be, can I watch Scream for the first time and appreciate it, rather than just being a kid and being like, well, I know they're the killers now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And then just coming towards the ending as well, with the whole party scene, where obviously Gail's in the van watching them on camera.
Yeah.
And then you see Ghostface walk up behind Randy, who's sat on the couch watching Halloween.
Yes.
And coming up with the rules as well for a film, and like who should die. Yeah. Oh, just everything about that is just amazing. I love
it's just like an ode to horror movies, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Right. So let's carry on, because we could do this all day just about this one film. But do you have any favorite kills?
Standout kills in this film for me, obviously the opening scene, Casey Becker.
Of course, yeah.
And then the other one after that is probably Tatum's death.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always,
I get that.
Just Ghostface standing there, pressing it up, and just watching Tatum get fucking squashed.
It's a weird death as well, I'll be honest.
Like, it's not a very bloody death for it, in you know what I mean, compared to like the rest of them. But
but it doesn't have
struggle.
To be,
like.
The panic,
like stuff like that freaks me out. And even when people are getting chased and they would like to grab the feet as they're running away, like you think that's going to happen because she's like hanging out of it, and you think shit, she ain't going to make it.
Swipe back,
it's
got to happen. Yeah, my favorites I've got down Henry Winkler, Principal. It's the like he's looking around. And also, you're suspicious of him at one point when he brings collars the 2 students in, and he's like the knife up to him, and you're like, oh shit, it's him. And then, you got the Freddy Krueger reference, and then it's the reflection in his eyes for me, where I'm like, that's such a cool.
Oh yeah, when he's dead and you see Ghostface in the eyeball. Yeah, man, that's sick.
Yeah, it's such a good shot. It makes that, and then not a kill, but when Randy is lying there watching Halloween, and you've got the delay to the hidden camera in the van, he's like, move, kid, and he's just watching Halloween.
He's shouting move at the TV, and he's like, look behind her and stuff like that.
Stuff like that. It's it's referencing one of our favorites, Halloween, and you get to hear that theme in the background throughout Scream, which is great.
Yeah.
And I love that bit, 'cause you're like, oh shit, what happened? And then Stu dying, having the TV dropped on him. I'm using quotation marks there, people, because I've not seen the new one yet, so who knows? Dreams can come true.
Literally anything can happen. So
anything can happen. That's it.
Oh God, I'm so excited.
I know we're not going to talk about it though. No. This is just the 1 to 4.
I think that wraps Scream one up.
I do want to ask, do you have any dislikes about this movie?
Honestly, mate, when I think about it from the top of my head, no, there's nothing that with any of them really. Like, I've got an order of like how I rank them and stuff.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end.
There's not much that I can really complain about.
Yeah,
with any of them.
I mean, I do have some complaints about some.
Yeah,
but like just dislikes, not really complaints. But yeah. For this one, I have none whatsoever. I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we continue to Scream 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. So what's your first impressions about Scream 2?
So obviously you've got the opening sequence. You've got this new movie that's coming out called So they've now set the premise with these opening sequences. This is going to be it for the rest of the franchise. You think, do you know what I mean? You're gonna every Scream movie is going to have that like impact as soon as you watch it to sort of like, in a way, set the story or just kick the film off so you know shit's happening again.
Yeah, they're never a slow start. It chucks you in, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we had that with Casey Becker in the first one.
Yeah,
and in this, we're in the cinema.
So now we're seeing stabs in production. Stab, like, we don't know. Obviously, watching it for the first time, we don't know what this is. Obviously, you know, Gail's been writing a book about the Woodsboro murders, and then the only way you find out about this is when they sat down in the cinema. They're handing out all these Ghostface costumes, and then you're sort of watching the recreation of like the Casey Becker scene.
It's so weird, isn't it?
And you're like, what? Like, this is fucking weird. Like, watch the first film again. Yeah. So yeah, watching that for the first time was a bit of a mindfuck. But then you like, say you've got the two characters. You've got is it Jada Pinkett Smith
and Omar Epps in the cinema.
Starting off with those two characters, and you've got your typical like girl who's like, oh, I don't really want to watch the horror movie. I want to go watch the chick flick instead.
Here we go.
It's not really typical girl. It's the stereotypical girl.
Yeah, no, I get you. Phil and Maureen were the characters' names in this.
Yeah, that's the one.
I have to say, like, I never want to talk about it, especially when we're a horror podcast talking about this, but the Scary Movie parodies ruined 1 and 2 for me because they blur Scream 1 and 2 for me, where I'm quoting a parody of these films, which is not a bad thing. They do the job well and they're hilarious, but
sort of confuses the two together for you.
I just always think of the cinema scene in Scary Movie.
See, this is where I've not watched the Scary Movies as much.
Maybe that's a good thing.
It's probably a good thing, to be honest. Yeah.
But that in the cinema where, you know, everyone's so riled up to watch something that happened in real life, which is fucking crazy to think about. And then you've got Omar Epps goes to the bathroom, and then it's a weird kill, I would say.
Yeah, that was one of those where I was like, how the fuck can you get a knife through? Like,
it's like whispering in a cubicle toilet for anyone who hasn't watched this, and then it's like he puts his ear to the cubicle, and then a knife pops out.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have some strength to put a knife through a thick piece of plastic like that or whatever it is.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, without looking at the actual like realism onto it.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like, you hear this like very high pitched like mumbling.
Yes, I was watching it last time, and I was like, I thought it was saying Billy, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm reading into something that isn't there.
Yeah, I've never really took notice to what they're actually mumbling.
No,
but the knife just comes out of nowhere and
straight into the ear as well, which seems like such. Obviously, getting stabbed anywhere isn't fun, but that's got to be such a horrible experience.
Yeah.
Not somewhere where you think of being stabbed.
No.
But yeah,
that was very creative, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a creative opening. And then obviously him, Ghostface, putting the jacket on and walking into the cinema. Yeah.
Acting like the boyfriend.
Yeah, just blending in with the rest of them because everyone else is in Ghostface costumes. So, you know what I mean? It could happen. It's one of those things that could have happened. And then, she just gets stabbed. And then the whole dramatic scene where she's up on stage and the soundtrack's fucking roaring, building up behind you, and everyone's screaming.
So
and
dramatic. And then you see people taking the masks off because they're like, this isn't part of this. Yeah. You know, and then people's realizations, the shock.
And then I love the dramatic death, though. Like,
yeah. Oh.
Just took like,
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. And then both straight into the opening titles and into the movie.
Obviously, we have another big twist in this, which is one of my favorite things. But I'll be honest, I'm not huge on Scream 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know, because it kind of feels like the same thing over again, except it's just work out all these new characters and the killers.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, like compared to, I might as well just give my list off now. It's like I usually rate them.
Whoa! We gotta wait.
You want me to do it? Yeah, you wait to the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
Reveal the chips at the end, you
know. Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. They've introduced obviously a bunch of different characters. Sydney's moved from where she was. Now. Yeah. Well, we're at college, different set of friends. I know what you mean. It's a similar vibe in it.
Yeah,
like with a boyfriend and
again, it's playing off the it could be this person switch, and you've got Randy, Sydney, Dewey, and Gail, who are all our returning characters. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So you see Gail and Dewey meeting up. Well, you've got Gail coming back again, who you thought would have got over it and stopped bugging Sydney, but she's back again, and she's still bugging Sydney, even though she knows how much shit they've been through together.
Yeah.
Yet she's still persistent on getting a fucking story. You think she'd get the point, but she doesn't. So I think she gets slapped again.
I saved your life. You'd think, give me a break now.
Yeah.
I will say that slap in the first one is one of my most quoted things, where it's like, I'll get you a copy. Boom. Boom. Bitch went down. Boom. Sid. Super bitch. Oh, I love Tatum. She's so good in that first one.
Yeah. Well,
underrated character, in my opinion.
But yeah, like going back onto this again. So like Dewey and Gail's relationship has changed a bit. So you saw them both like romancing towards the end, and now like something's happened between them both. They just haven't seen each other in a while, and he's read the book that she's wrote, and not so many nice things that said about Dewey, and making him look a bit like stupid. And
she's
stuff
saying
like that.
she exaggerated for the story, kind of thing.
Yeah. So obviously there's that tension between them both now, and like obviously Dewey's coming back and saying hello to everyone, and they're all like hooking up again. But then, like you said, we've got the new characters. So Sydney's got a new boyfriend, who obviously now we're going to be suspicious of at first. Like anything that happens, we're going to be thinking
it's got to be the boyfriend.
Yeah, it's got to be him again. But then obviously, at the same time, like, would they want to repeat the same like formula? Like,
but maybe that's what you least expect.
Well, exactly. So it could go either way, isn't it? It's like
this is why we don't trust these films.
No.
And also, you've got Cotton Weary, who's now out. Yeah. Gail has like said, "Yeah, Sid will meet up with you," and that's not something Sid has said.
No.
So you've got this like obviously tension between them. And then, very awkward, very weird. You get very suspicious of Cotton in this one as well.
100%. He comes across as a very dodgy character. He's desperate for his TV primetime spot.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you've got the library scene where he seems a bit intimidating, and then Gail towards the end of the film.
Card.
Yeah,
his Gail card, should I say?
Sees the blood all over Cotton after Cotton says he's discovered Dewey's body. And then it just all sort of starts throwing it towards Cotton on this one. You're like, oh shit, so he could actually be a killer. But yeah, that's the thing with these films; they throw you off, man. You think one person can be a killer, so that's what I love about it. Some films you can predict it, you can predict how it's going to end, and it's so predictable. Whereas these are so well written, you just don't know. Yeah, and obviously there's so many scripts that they write as well, because they want people on set to be finding out. So yeah,
gotta keep the shit quiet, because the fun part of these are figuring out who did it.
Yeah,
like we've just said. Okay, we've gone quite larger on Scream 2 than I thought we would on initial thoughts. Let's get on to favorite kills. So what are your favorite kills in this? Do you have any that stand out for you?
Well, just before we go on kills as well. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's fine.
So I wanted to go a bit more into, obviously. So you've got like Sid, who's obviously questioning all like relationships in this, like not just a boyfriend, but with everyone. Like she can't trust anyone.
Which, by the way, completely understandable.
Yeah, and she's got bad PTSD. You can see it during the performance in the theater where she sees Ghostface again, or does she? Like, and everything's happening at once, and she's just obviously fucked up from that first film, and you're feeling pretty bad for her, because it's like she's in her own space. The only person she could probably trust is like Dewey.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? At this point,
for sure.
Maybe a friend, but
Haley is a name.
Haley. Yeah,
All right, let's talk about the actual killers now rather than after the favorite kills.
Yeah, go on.
Because personally, I would much preferred it to have been Billy's mum and Haley, the best friend. To me, that would have been better because I feel like Mickey's nothing against him. I'm not a fan, but he feels like very much on the side. Like just he gets introduced as normal, but I feel like if it was the best friend wanted a chance at like, oh well, films are being made about you now. I want to be remembered. That would have been like more impactful and like.
Yeah, you kind of like what's the real motive for Mickey to be doing that?
Mickey feels wrong. I love that it's Billy's mum and she's so subtly added into the whole film throughout.
Yeah,
you know, as a reporter bugging Gail for tips and stuff like that. But yeah, Mickey really like lowers my opinion of this movie.
Like, don't get me wrong. What's his name now? The actor who plays Mickey.
Oh, let me find out for you. You're asking some questions there, Matty.
Scream 2.
Oh, Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah. So, do you know what? Like, I did enjoy his character in this film, even though it's very like in the background. His character, you know what I mean? He pops up every so often. Sort of comes across as like a bit more of a settled down Stu, I'd say. He's got that sort of humor. Do you know what I mean about him?
That's definitely who it's trying to like
imitate.
You know, yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, and he pulls it off well. I mean, especially towards the end, he looks like he plays off that psychopath vibe well. And
yeah, he definitely does.
Like, yeah, it just in his eyes and like his whole like characteristic about it, and whole blaming the whole movies thing at the end of it, which is basically what they was doing on the first film as well. Do you know what I mean? They wanted to blame the movies for the killings.
No, they were saying don't blame the movies.
Oh yeah, it was.
Don't blame the movies.
Get it confused.
Yeah. That's the twist and the nod, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's a great actor though. I loved him in Santa Clarita Diet as well.
Oh
so good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like Timothy, as an actor. I just don't like the story that he's written in.
Yeah.
As like, I shouldn't be able to think if it's the best friend and Billy's mum would be better. I don't want to be thinking if anything should be better. I should just be like, that's sick.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I do feel let down by just the fact that it is Mickey and not, I don't know.
Yeah, and then
I'm not a screenwriter. So.
Yeah, I mean, you find out obviously. So Billy's mum's motive is the whole thing that her and her husband broke up because Maureen Prescott's hidden his mum. Started having an affair apparently with
her husband at the time, which you see referenced in is talked about in the original, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's Billy's motive as well.
So that's the whole thing without breaking them up, and then obviously Billy dying. So you can tell why she's kind of gone insane.
That's why I like her as one of the murderers, because I completely understand the motives. Whereas Mickey, I'm just like, does he just want to kill people?
And she's only dotted throughout in little bits. She only appears every so often bugging Gail, like most of the time,
added
as a news reporter.
Yeah.
And again, when you're watching the film back through, it's cool because you can sort of see the points of where she's just randomly appeared. Like, for example, Sarah Michelle Gellar, like her character, her death in one of the sororities when she gets thrown off the balcony. And then you get the whole news vans outside first, and then Debbie just turns up. Just turns up. She's already there. She's like,
I've never thought about that.
She's the first reporter on scene because Gail turns up and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've already reported about it." And
she does, like that, she brags about it, doesn't she?
Yeah. So she wants to obviously one up Gail.
And like she's getting the benefits of, oh, I know there's a murder gonna happen. Let's get the scoop immediately.
Yeah. So it's cool again watching it back and then knowing who the killer is, but just seeing those like moments of where things are all adding up and like what I mean within the whole story. So
yeah, I do like that, but yeah, my only criticism is Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's do favorite kills.
Well, what about Randy in this as well? Sorry to go on again.
No, my God, I'm never gonna get onto this.
You're never gonna get Yeah, so like Randy in this, he's awesome. Like Randy's at his prime in this movie. Do you know what I mean? So he's going on about sequels, and he's having that sort of chat with Mickey as well about the sequels, in the in film class.
In class, yeah.
And again, that's another thing. It's being very meta in itself. It's like saying, "Oh, sequels always fucking suck compared to the first film. When's the sequel ever better than the first film?" And they're naming off these movies, and then one of them mentions Godfather 2, and he's just like, relatable. You know what I mean? I actually prefer Godfather 2 over the first one. He's fucking sick.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Robert De Niro's in it, for example. So, it's cool because it's acting on real life.
Not just horror films this time, but just what we know from movies and our own
Hollywood,
opinions.
In general, and our own opinions, and a lot of people probably would have agreed with that at the time, and it's just enjoyable to watch and hear as well. And Randy being a character that's so like he's got such a passion for like that sort of stuff. It just you sort of soak it all in, don't you, throughout the film, and it's cool. And he just becomes one of those lovable characters, even though he's a bit of a nutcase, and he's got his own.
He's not like character. You don't suspect him at all anymore in this, and you are like, it grounds you to the first one where you're like, that's the guy I really loved. I really loved Randy in the first one.
Yeah,
I completely trust him here.
That's the guy that they go to when they're asking about the killers, Dewey and Randy.
Yeah, he's your guide throughout now.
Yeah, that's it.
And he's your guide later on as well, which we'll get to. But what did you think of his death? Can I get on to deaths, Matty?
Yeah,
let me get there.
Yeah, right, let's go on to kills. That was a nice tie-in with Randy. Yeah.
What's your favourite kills in this?
So, I think my favourite kill in this was Sydney's bodyguard in the car crash scene. Because that's fucking grim. Yeah, do you know when he's holding onto the car and Ghostface is driving it, and the car fucking crashes, and the pole just goes straight through his head into the car.
I've got to be honest with you.
I was like, oh my god.
In fact, we'll just do favorite kills. I'll tie back to this in a minute.
Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty grim kill, because when you see him and he's
grim,
twitching
brutal.
And he's after his gun and that, and then that ties onto that scene, that scene's creepy as fuck when they're having to climb over Ghostface. That was tense enough, mate. I thought shit was going to off there.
So honestly, I feel bad for saying this. My favorite kill in this is the cinema where Maureen is murdered. Just because I love the tension, the build up. She discovers the blood in his pocket, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I think that is definitely top as well. But
yeah. And then like, if you've watched Scary Movie, the character in Scary Movie is accused of talking too much in the cinema, and now when I watch when I watch Scream 2 now and I see Maureen in the cinema next to Ghostface, but she thinks it's her boyfriend, she talks way too much, and I'm like, you deserve to die. If you listen to this podcast enough, my pet peeve is anything in the cinema where you're distracting me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I fucking hope there's no one in Scream who's going to be doing that.
I beg. I'd like to think people that are going first showing are just fans who want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Anyway, let's get
continuing. But yeah, I do love that, and the dramatics and the reveal of everyone like pulling the Ghostface mask off, and the shock. And it's like, imagine being stabbed. You've gone up there to get people's attention, and now you're just discovering everyone from being riled and rallied up to, oh fuck.
That scene, that whole scene is just dramatic in itself, and like we mentioned before, the whole score brings itself up. The whole cinema's roaring. It's like the ending to the film, but at the beginning. Yeah, it is. That's what's so good about it.
If you had a final death, that would perfectly fit.
Yeah, that'd tie it on. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, so that's probably like tied top. Randy's death scene in this. It's pretty sad, isn't it? It's pretty unexpected as well.
It's disappointing, isn't it? The fact that he dies is, and it's you get that pan around him as he's on the phone, and you're trying to work out who's he on the phone to because they can see him.
Yeah.
So you're trying to work that out.
The best thing about that is when he first gets the phone call, and he's wondering who it is, and then Gail and Dewey wander off to go find people who are on the phone. And the first question he asked him is, "What's your favorite scary movie?"
Oh,
so good.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
I was annoyed he died, and I feel like his death could have been bigger, personally.
Yeah,
but his death feels like a letdown. He's dragged into the back 100%. Of a van and stabbed.
Oh, yeah, they could have given.
This is one of our favorite characters from the original. He deserves.
If anything, I would rather Randy just have survived and maybe Dewey had a good send off.
Ooh, fucking hell! That's
even though I love Dewey, but I think I just love Randy over.
Yeah, I do, and I feel like
so good.
You know, in the following films, we try and replace Randy to guide us throughout the movie.
Well, yeah, well, that's it.
And you know, maybe they regret that kill. I certainly would if I wrote that, but yeah, I like it and I dislike it at the same time.
It's with all the films, I think they've just got perfect casting on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
The characters are just cast perfectly. I mean, like Jamie Kennedy is Randy. You couldn't have picked anyone better for it. You know what I mean? Matthew Lillard is Stu. You couldn't have picked anyone better for it.
And do you know what's funny? The only time like you think, oh, this casting feels weird. What am I watching? It's like, oh, it's a stab movie and it's purposely chosen to feel like that, so you know it's not in this world and something feels off. Yeah. That is something that I don't think gets credited enough. You got a good shout there for that. Yeah,
it's just perfect casting for it, man, and they just play the characters so well. I'd love to see Jamie Kennedy come back playing Randy, but it's obviously never going to happen.
It can't happen, can it?
No.
Although, you never know. We've just said in the last one, anything can happen. So, anything can happen. Speaking of anything can happen, is there anything you dislike about this movie? Let's get on to dislikes.
Again, like nothing from the top of my head with it.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to think about. Yeah,
I know it's hard to criticize.
It is.
So maybe you would say that. Maybe you'd say the death of Randy there.
Yeah, I wish he could. Yeah, he could have had a lot of a bit more of a better send off.
100% a better send off. I'll be honest with you. I hate the whole car scene.
Did you not
with
like
the bodyguards?
That? Right.
Like you got the option to just unmask Ghostface right there when he's passed out.
Well, see, I was only watching this before. I was watching this before.
That bugs me so much.
And I was thinking about this, and she did have an opportunity to take his mask off there and then. But then again, in that situation, they've both been taking so long to try and get out that car. And just put yourself in their situation. As soon as you get out of there, I ain't taking his mask off. I'm just fucking running. I'm not chancing him grabbing hold of me and stabbing me in the arm. So I can kind of see why they run off, and then she goes back, and I'm like, why are you going back? Just fucking run.
Yeah, maybe that's what I dislike. Now, yeah, choose one.
Yeah. It's one or the other. Like, just commit to it. But if you've already started running, carry on running. 100%. You've made that decision. Do not go back to the car because you're gonna fucking die. And then how it turns out is Haley dies instead.
Yeah, she does.
So they should have just carried on running. Like,
why stop? I agree. But I feel like Sidney Prescott's just survived the Woodsboro murders, which are fucking crazy. She has a film based off on her. Granted, she's we see her suffering from PTSD, as you've mentioned, but that's your opportunity to you're confronting it anyway.
Yeah.
Take that mask off. Discover who's after you.
Well, that's it. So she says that when they both they stop running. They're like, well, if I take his mask off, this will all end now. We'll know who it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is true. That's it.
And it's like, the other thing is we see Mrs. Loomis throughout, but it's only with Gail that we see her. It's never with Sydney. And then when it is confronted, then we get that she recognizes her, which of course, it's Billy's mum. Of course she's going to recognize her. Yeah.
So who do you think it is who's in the car then? Because so there's a whole YouTube series. There's a guy who's got who killed who or something like that.
We'll link it below.
Yeah,
in the YouTube video.
It's a cool watch, and he's done it for each one of the screams, and it's basically his opinion, but also obviously everyone else has been chipping in of who they think is the killer in each one of the scenes or who's behind the mask. That. And it is cool because that's another thing where you can watch that video and then go back and watch the films again with fresh eyes and piece it together for yourself.
That's one thing I love about these movies. No matter how many times I've watched them, you're still figuring new stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, again, when I watched Scream 2 today, there's another thing I picked up on where what you call it, Gail's character. Again, it's becoming meta again. She says something about like her face being put on Jennifer Aniston's body or something like that, and she's referencing that, and it's like a clear Friends reference.
Yeah, which is
like,
mad, isn't it?
From Courtney Cox herself. And I literally, I heard it because I was doing my work, working from home, and then watching it at the same time, and I heard that, and I went,
if you're Matty's employee, you never heard that.
yeah. I was still working anyway, you know what I mean? Hit targets and all that.
It's in the background.
Yeah, it's in the background. But yeah, I was like, that's a clear fucking Friends reference right there. I never noticed that before, but it's something you pick up on, isn't it?
I don't think I've noticed that.
No.
Damn.
Was that's sick?
I'll be honest, I can't believe how much we've talked about Scream 2, because it is probably one of my least watched films.
It is packed, mate. It is packed. And also, watching it for the first time, Dewey getting stabbed.
Yeah.
You think Dewey's dead? You don't know Dewey's alive until the end.
Again, something they do quite often. You think someone's dead, and then it's like, from left field, no, they're not.
I don't know how the fuck he survived that so many times. He's got a bad limp in this film because he got stabbed in the back and it pricked a nerve.
Yeah.
And now somehow survived getting stabbed again.
So that's what I'm saying. If Dewey can survive this, I think Stu can survive a TV on the head.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only one where I'm absolutely certain. I know those TVs are heavy, but come on.
Oh, that's one thing I just can't wait for, is just to clear all these different theories and be like, right, okay, so we know because and he's just being teased so much in it, and we don't know who the killer is, and but anyway, that's the new Scream. We're talking about Scream 3 now.
Right, let's move on to Scream 3. I would say, right, I'm gonna say it straight away, it's a better story than 2 immediately.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that one.
I think we see, like, something Jess pointed out, which I never thought of, is that Sydney probably sees Dewey like a brother because they both lost Tatum, which I never really thought about, which it makes sense why Dewey's trusted to Sydney and no one else.
Yeah, I didn't think.
I've never thought about that.
No.
But
it's never crossed my mind when I've been watching the other ones.
Some character development that I absolutely love, because it just makes sense, but you don't think about it.
Yeah, they always they always come back and reunite in these films, and they're like the closer than ever, and they, like I said, they're like brother and sister. And he's like the trailer. Brother.
From the trailer for the new one, looks like the exact same thing. He's checking up on her. Yeah. From what we know, these trailers can be taken out of context as well. That wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But I think this is a better story, and I absolutely love the setting of the movie studio, and I love that we get backstory to Maureen Prescott, who's a character we've never actually seen.
Yeah,
but you hear about all the way in the original, and to me, that's what makes it a better story.
So it ties in. 1,000%. Yeah, I had that wrote down as well. So the whole backstory thing, I think also. Like you said, mentioned about the movie set, but also being behind the scenes of a horror movie and seeing the inner workings of a film, like it's another way of Wes Craven getting even more meta with it.
Yeah, it's true. What I mean? That. Which you see in like a New Nightmare.
Yeah, it's meta on another level, but like you said, it's New Nightmare.
It's even more so because she's in her own house back in Woodsboro where these attacks happened, and she's walking around. And she goes, "Right, I just go in this room," and then boom, it isn't a room. It's a fucking 6-foot drop or whatever.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's them in a horror film set on a film based on their lives and the events of the other films that we've also seen. So we're on this journey with them.
And it gets even more confusing in this.
Yeah.
And I will say confusing because it takes me so long to figure this out. But we have almost what you could view as double characters, because the casting feels right, but it's, I'm playing you. I'm playing Gale Weathers. Yeah. I'm playing Sydney Prescott. And it's like, it's so weird.
Yeah, man. And there's that also, you think they get on with each other, but then Gale and the woman who's playing Gale, like
the whole interaction is amazing throughout. Yeah. And it's like she's close with Dewey because Dewey and Gale have separated now, and
and he's like a bodyguard.
It's mad, isn't it? It's so funny, that dynamic of like friends with your.
So like he's the bodyguard, or like looking out for the actress that's playing
Gale
Gale
Weathers in Stab.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, isn't it? I love it. I love how they all tangle it all in, and
then it gets more meta in Stab because they're talking about so many script rewrites, which is a reference to what actually went on in Scream 2.
Yeah.
And the original, I suppose, as well.
So the opening to this film is again like
another strong open.
Another strong opening, and killing off a biggest character within the Scream universe.
Someone we've suspected throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, proved to be wrong time and time again. I love the build-up to this opening as well. It's Cotton stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Getting a phone call from a fan,
Yeah.
He wants to know Cotton.
So you see, like, obviously he's made that jump from where he's desperate for the fame in the second one, and now he's like the host of a TV show.
Yeah.
Which is cool seeing, and then he's just driving down probably like Sunset Boulevard or something. And like I said, he's speaking to what he thinks is a fan. And yeah, then Ghostface just fucking.
He attacks.
Yeah.
Ghostface attacks his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't actually kill the girlfriend, but has been using Cotton's voice.
Yeah, so this is a new thing. This is what I got on here. So you've got a new voice changer where you can see he's like.
I gotta be honest, it's goofy.
Yeah.
But I like it at the same time.
Yeah, it's a whole way of him manipulating like the whole situation.
Because you can use everyone's voice, which I can suspend my belief that exists for this.
Yeah, but again, it's just chucking. This could be the ending to a film, like to what you know what I mean. This could be like
that'd be the final. Yeah, that's true. Like the intros feel like final scenes to the third act, big reveal.
100%.
That's what they feel like. You are right.
Rushing through the traffic, trying to get home, and the next minute it goes to a scene and you're seeing Ghostface watching her in the shower, and then all that building up, and he's rushing in, trying to find out who it is, and yeah.
And it's shot so well that you can't really figure out the timeline of what's happened between them until they confront one another.
Yeah, because you go in and you think she might still be in the shower, but she's trapped in this room where all she's heard is a voice from that what she thinks is Cotton outside the door when it's not actually Cotton, and then when he actually does turn up, she's like,
"Who the fuck are you?" Yeah, she beats Cotton with is it like a golf club or something? And then all of a sudden, Ghostface appears out of the closet, and you're like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's going on?"
Dude, it's the bit so where confusing. She's sat with her back to the corridor, and that's the bit where I think if you was in the cinema, you'd be shouting at the fucking screen, saying, "Behind you!" like. Fucking behind you, like you see Cotton's like got a late reaction to it. He sort of turns around and he's like, "Oh yeah, watch out!" Next minute, both head stabbed, and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, Cotton. Dies,
and then Cotton's death, man, as well.
Yeah,
I thought he might have had a fighting chance, but no.
I mean, I think it makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Definitely.
What more could you do with Cotton to keep the story interesting? Like. I'm happy with that intro. I think it's just as exciting.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy with Cotton's death on that as well. I think he's had
it doesn't feel
justifiable death. Though.
Yeah, it doesn't feel undersold like we've previously had with Randy.
Yeah, and this brings it in for the film as well because obviously this strikes the attention of the rest of the guys now. Like, holy shit, someone's killed Cotton.
Yeah,
it's happening
now,
again.
The actors are getting worried.
Yeah.
Which is funny. There's more people to panic. And you've also got Sidney Prescott completely closed off from everyone. Which is on like a crisis helpline.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in the middle of nowhere. She's been put there from is it like probably police protection or something like that.
I'd assume that, but I think it's just her doing it off her back because even the detective can't find Sidney, and he's trying to get, Kincaid's trying to get Dewey to get a hold of Sidney.
Yeah. Do you know what's cool about the beginning? Sorry, when you first see Sidney in the house that she's in, I'm pretty sure it is the third one. You see the bus pull up outside the house, the school bus, and that stops, pulls up outside the house, and then obviously carries on going or whatever, and then you pan onto Sidney's house. That reminds me of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, the bus scene.
Yes.
Picking them up. And it's the whole color grading of the whole scene and just the way it's set and the angle as well of the camera when you see the buzz. It just instantly reminds me of that introduction from Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but because obviously it's the same sort of buzz on it.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was done on purpose, let's be honest.
So again, just chucking little bits like that into it. That's
it's something as simple as a school bus.
Yeah. And just the way it's shot, yeah. It's cool. But yeah, there's different scary bits throughout this as well. So you've got like Sid who's home alone, and there's that scene where she sees a mum. And a mum creates that dream.
Yeah, that's weird. That
I remember seeing that as a kid for the first time, and I was creeped the fuck out by that bit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fuck Ghostface, that shit's scary.
Yeah.
Like, watching that, like...
Yeah, that is creepy.
Comes over, and it's like, putting her hands on the window and, like...
mate, no. Nope.
It's the white gown as well, I think, that does it.
It's always a white gown. Yeah. It's horror movies. It pisses me off so much because it's creepy.
Oh man, yeah. So there's just bits like that in the film again that add to it, and then the whole thing now where they think the killer's following the script. He's got the script and they think he's following it, but like as you mentioned before, they say, there's so many rewrites that they've had. Which script is the killer going off? Like,
yeah, they're trying to work.
Nobody knows. Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah, I really love number 3. I think it gets disregarded a lot, but I think this is the more fun film.
Yeah, we get Randy back. We didn't think we'd see Randy again.
Yeah, that's definitely a highlight of the entire film, is bumping into Randy's sister on the movie set.
Yeah,
and she's there to get Sid. Yeah, Martha, and she has a tape, and Randy's filmed himself saying, "If you're watching this, I didn't make it."
Yeah, it's quite sad, isn't it? That
moment it's
you're like, oh, dude, I missed that guy.
I think that's the moment where, like, you know, they were making number 3, and maybe they were like, we shouldn't have killed Randy.
Yeah.
How do we get him back without him being like, oh, I survived, it's okay?
Yeah.
It's like, videotape.
Starts talking about the trilogy. He touches up on trilogies on the second one, but on obviously this now, he's going on all about the rules of a trilogy and sort of predicting what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you've also got that bit of comedy from him as well, because his roommate is trying to get in the room and he's telling him to fuck off. He's trying to film something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a real highlight for me throughout the whole film.
Yeah. So there's a guy from work who's into his horror films and like Scream as well. And we've had this thing where, like, we've been taking the piss saying, what if Murphy's like one of the killers in the new film? What if Murphy's got a motive?
So funny.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sydney, you didn't give my brother a chance. Die. Die. That's so good.
Murphy just turns up fucking kicking ass. Yeah. Funny,
I want that to happen. If you've predicted this, I'm going to be very angry.
Can you imagine? Oh man, yeah. What about the some of the things in this film as well? So obviously you've got the whole, like, all based in Hollywood sort of thing, and the dropping all these different characters in the mix, and then you also get cameos. So Jane, Silent Bob.
You do?
How fucking cool is that?
Yeah.
I remember I'd only watched Jane, Silent Bob movies probably about 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I watch again, another thing, watching Scream 3 again. And then I spot that as like another new thing. I was like, holy shit, Jane, Silent Bob, like walking into the studio.
You got Carrie Fisher as well.
And Carrie Fisher,
which is an amazing one, because they're like, are you? And she's like, no.
Oh man, yeah, just
so
good,
like,
Carrie Fisher, yeah. And she says that she was supposed to play some Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Something like that. And Carrie Fisher beat her to it.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah,
which at first, you know
what,
it did make me question it. You know, when I saw that, and obviously I was big into Star Wars, I was like, is that Carrie Fisher, or is that actually a lookalike? I had to obviously look at the credits and Google it, but it did throw me off as well at one point. I was like, maybe it isn't Carrie Fisher,
but it is.
Right?
Yeah, no problem. It is Carrie Fisher, which is and the after. So this is one thing I absolutely love, is the backstory of Maureen Prescott did film work, and she has a history in Hollywood. So let's discover it. And this is as they're on the set of Stab 3. And, before the Me Too movement happened, you've also got the character, the producer saying, well, yeah, the reason I didn't tell you is, we go to these parties and, you sleep for roles, and that was what it was. And then fast forward a few years later, and this is the reality that's actually happening, which is horrifying. But
which is, do you know what? Do you know, now you think about that, then it's just clicked in my head. Like the Weinsteins, or whatever you
Weinsteins did produce,
did produce the series, and they were doing that shit. Well, Bob was anyway, from what we know.
No, Harvey.
Harvey, sorry, not
Harvey
Bob.
Weinstein,
Sorry, Bob.
yeah.
Sorry, Bob.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't trust any movie producer anymore. So that's
but
fine.
Obviously Harvey's the one who got convicted of it. But that now I'm thinking that's only just clicked in my head. Now I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, well,
you make a good point there, because it's weird, isn't it?
So when you're, from what I understand, I don't know films properly. I talk to me about music all day, but from what I gather, executive producers are pretty much just here's the money and don't really care what you do. They're after an investment and a return, whereas producers can actually be like, let's jump in and change this and rewrite this and whatever. So I'm pretty sure they're executive producers on this. So I wonder if it was almost like people in the industry, trying to be like, you should look into this without them saying,
it's like a subtle dig in the in a way to the industry at the time. I bet there's loads of stuff like that in it that we don't pick up on, because we're not clued up on that. All the industry stuff, because we never, we've never been involved in that sort of thing. But there's probably, like, when you rewatch it and different people seeing it from their own experiences, they probably just have different outcomes and different views on the film and what they see and stuff.
It's a heavy topic watching it to begin with. Someone abusing their power so you can get what you need in a career. Absolutely disgusting. Even more horrifying when real life is pretty much imitated what we've watched. So now going back and watching it, you're like, fuck. That's why we're talking about it now. Yeah.
Like, I've never thought about that until now, and it's fucking weird, that, isn't it?
That's the real horror that is going on in these movies. That is a real thing.
Like, I wonder if that was wrote in on purpose for that reason.
We'll never know, mate.
It's crazy, isn't it? But that's one thing I've never made a connection with. So anyone else watching this, I don't know if you made that connection. But
sorry if I've
highly doubt. But it's crazy.
And then you've got. So let's talk about the killer. It's Roman.
Yeah.
Who is the director, if I'm right, of Stab 3.
Yeah.
And he's, the big reveal is we're going to a party. It's Roman's birthday.
Yeah.
Sid goes down. The cast of Stab 3 are there, and this is where, like, they're in this huge house, which is in Halloween H20.
Yeah.
I'm going to say H20 and not H2O because there's no mermaids in Halloween. Don't forget. Anyway, so it's an incredible location which we're familiar with, and they've got this like hidden rooms and loads of props because it's the producer's house where this party's being thrown.
Yeah,
it's a great location. And final.
The house is like amazing. It like there's all sorts of different rooms, and you'd just be completely fucking lost in there if you didn't know what was what. And that's the dangerous thing about this, because obviously Roman's
for the killer.
Familiar with that environment. He's brought him to. Is it his house or is it the?
It's the producer's house. Yeah.
But he's obviously familiar with it. He's been there earlier on, so he's like bringing them into the lair with them unknowingly going there, thinking they're going to a party, but he's roping them in. He's set up all this stuff, and he's ready to get slashing.
Literally.
Yeah. Which, like you said, man, this is a fucking brilliant way to conclude the film.
I like it as well because we've got like the Stab 3 characters being like, well, what would my character do? Because they are now in that scenario. And it's so funny seeing the like them as an actor and then them as the thinking about the character. It's such a like within, it gets meta, doesn't it?
Sydney turning up on her own when she finds out that Gail and Dewey been tied up, and
like it's an obvious trap. Yeah.
She has to chuck the gun in the pool and all that. You know what I mean? Like, he's keeping an eye on it all. He's controlling the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He knows what's happening,
and this is almost more of a confrontational sort of approach with Ghostface and Sydney from what as opposed to what we've previously seen.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lot. It seems like a lot more personal, which is what you get obviously towards the end. But just rewinding before that, a few characters get killed off. Obviously, mainly the cast of
Stab 3.
Yeah, in various different ways. But then the main one is where you think Roman's dead. He goes down into that basement. There's all these different like horror props down there, which is very cool.
Yeah, it is.
And then you think Roman's dead because they open the casket and his body's in there. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. That was a good way of tricking you to.
He's acting, guys.
Yeah. It's a good way of tricking you to thinking. Obviously, it's not Roman.
Change your thought process.
Yeah, because you probably start thinking it, don't you? Towards some point, you know what I mean? Because he gets done for it, actually, doesn't he? Like he gets blamed.
Kincaid, for being confiscates his phone from him, doesn't he? And wants to look at his call history and stuff. And doesn't he borrow Dewey's phone at one point and stuff? I
think so.
And that's how all this ties in.
It's the phone call that he made to the production office or whatever it is.
Oh, that's it, because that kill is great in the production office where she hides amongst a wardrobe of Ghostface costumes.
That's one of my ones for the kill
I'm
thing.
so sorry. Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah, that scene. But that's because he calls her on the phone there.
And he's like, not another script change, Roman.
Yeah. And obviously then she ends up getting killed. The police put that together and they think, right, you're the last person to talk, so you're saying this. You
had a meeting scheduled with... Yeah, that's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's actual good police work, I suppose.
Yeah,
well,
it is.
Maybe not. Don't let the person die. But, that's good police work.
Yeah. If he can get, like, let off because they proved that he's not actually done it because he apparently has an alibi or whatever, then that pushes him out the way. You think it could be him at first, but then that pushes him away, and then he dies. So you're like, right, it's not him.
And we don't necessarily, as the watcher, know that this voice changing technology, the new voice changer they have, but we kind of are confused anyway because of the beginning with Cotton, where we hear his voice going to kill his girlfriend and then not kill his girlfriend. So it's a very weird, very weird that you're trying to work out. It confuses you a little.
Yeah. Another highlight as well is the scene where I think it's Gail and Dewey, and they're going up and down the stairs, into the basement where they found Roman's body. And Dewey stood at the top of the stairs when I think it's Gail who's at the bottom of them, who's like Ghostface is knocked out behind her or something like that. I can't remember. I've not seen Scream 3 in a while. And they're both at the bottom of the stairs anyway. And then Ghostface chucks the knife up towards Dewey, and you think, fucking hell, he's gonna die. You think the knife's gonna go right in his head. And then the blunt end, the handle end of it, smacks him in the head, and you think, "Fuck it!" He just falls down the stairs.
Knocks him down, yeah. Oh my god.
So good.
Yeah, there is some very fun moments in this as well. Like the whole when Gale Weathers is actually sneaking around fake Gale Weathers' place, and they're trying to. She's discovering that Dewey's close, and that's all fun that it's playing off one another. Yeah. You get a weird romantic connection between Kincaid and Sydney, which doesn't feel terrible. It's just surprising that it's there, but I like it. I don't mind that.
You sort of get the feel that Kincaid could be like the killer as well at one point. He gives off that vibe, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It wouldn't feel out of place for him to have been the killer, especially how desperate he's wanting to find Sydney. That's why it comes across that way.
Yeah, definitely.
He's hounding Dewey for where she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Let's get on to favourite kills, Matty. What is your favourite kills in this?
Cotton's death, as we talked about, and then Sarah Darling's death, as we said in the production office.
It's such a good, tense moment, isn't it?
Hiding in the racking with all those Ghostface costumes, and it could be any one of them. You watch the film, fuck me, one of those is going to just stand out at 1 second. And sure it does. His feet pops out, and then
Yeah,
that's it.
it's so good.
Oh, the chase around the production office. They got all the different buck knives as well with the rubber
Oh
knives. And
yeah,
trying to
that's
stab him with
so
it or chuck
good.
him, and they're just flopping all over the place. I love it because like that was probably part of their like arsenal that they were using for the film anyway as well. At the
Well,
same
yeah,
time,
definitely.
all those Ghostface costumes there, though, like I wonder where the fuck they went for auction because I want one.
Yeah, there's enough, isn't there?
Yeah.
On set of Scream 3.
If I can't get a hero costume, I'd happily take one of them. I wonder where they are. There's shitloads of them.
Is there that many? We
Yeah,
at least see
there's
like
just
two
two
racks,
trolley,
don't we?
two racks worth. Yeah, with a lot of them on. There must be at least 20.
Mate, you've got to get one of those.
I've to fucking
Call yourself a collector.
Yeah.
Come on,
I know.
mate. No, I'm joking. Yeah, my favorite death's also Cotton's because, again, it's tense, and I never really thought of Scream openings being like final scenes until we're now analyzing it.
Yeah.
But it really is. Really is. And then another favorite of mine is Behind the Mirror, as we see Dewey in the bedroom and the fake Gail Weathers. Because this house is so big. I apologize for not knowing the actress's name, or even a character's name. I only know her as fake Gail Weathers. But yeah, she's banging on the mirror to get Dewey's attention, and he's just too late.
Yeah, just as he chucks
it's again a tense moment. Yeah,
and she's already dead, and then Ghostface is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, 100%, mate. And just to tie it off perfectly for Scream 3 as well, the end scene, the whole monologue that Roman gives about and the projection on there, and it's just a face off between him and Sydney, and he's spilling the beans about it all. He's like, he was the one who was the mastermind behind it. He was the one who was planning it with Billy and Stu.
He manipulated Billy and Stu to murder.
I like it, man. It's cool. Like I like the fact that you can sort of watch Scream and think Roman's knocking around somewhere.
Yeah, true.
Like Roman's manipulating this in a way. You know what I mean? It's cool thinking that, and this is why the Scream 3 is like one of my favorites as well. Roman's character is sick, and I just love the way they tie it off and they bring all that backstory into it, and
I think
they explain everything a bit more about Maureen as well.
Obviously, this is the first Scream we've had where it's just one killer, not two. So again, like, it's keeping you on your toes because you're assuming there's two killers now. We've had two movies with two killers. You're like, oh, what pair is it? But no, it is one killer, and I suppose that's why it works, is because he's saying he's the mastermind of the whole thing.
Yeah. He's the guy behind it, which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I quite like it. I am hit and miss on it because I don't know if it takes away from Billy and Stu's motive of like they've been told what to do kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Whereas,
guess obviously
like,
they have their own motives to do it
really well.
Yeah, they have their own motives to do it, but they've sort of been pushed to do it a bit more and like given a bit more direction with it by Roman, who's also feeling that hatred for Sydney. And yeah, it's cool. And then the fact you see Ghostface get shot a few times, and naturally when you watch a horror movie, the monster seems immortal for most of the time. And you see
especially
him
a masked killer.
Yeah. And you see him get shot, and he's like, why the fuck is he not going down? And then reveals the vest with the bullet holes in it.
I was going to say, it must be something about that house, because, you know,
H20. Yeah, reveals the vest with the bullet holes in it, and then you get the whole stab where Sydney gets stabbed, and then she's like, bitch, I've got a vest too.
Me too.
Yeah. I just love it. Yeah, and that ending where he comes out and he gets shot in the head. Again, it's a similar fate that Billy had in it, so
well, even in number 2 we didn't mention it. Sydney has no problem shooting Mrs. Loomis in the head, like just to make sure, and walks away. It's a badass moment.
Yeah, all the girls have died with a bullet in their head.
I mean, those are the rules, apparently. You know.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens in the new one as well.
Yeah. So, ready to move on?
Let's go.
Happy? Yeah. All right. So, we had Scream in 96, Scream 2 in 97, Scream 3 in 2000, and then we wait a long time, 11 years for Scream 4. So I feel like a lot of people do like separate them, the trilogy and then this.
Yeah.
What do you think about this one, mate?
This is probably my least favorite of the franchise. I don't know. I always had a thing with the trilogy, and then like this film come out, and I was excited to see it. And I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's just
it's not a bad film.
It's not a bad film. I don't know, for some reason I just have a thing about that trilogy.
I get it.
You know what I mean? I have too much of a love for that trilogy, and the fourth ones always seem like the sort of like black sheep of the family. Do you know what I mean?
Well, especially now, because wasn't this like the build up to another trilogy, but because this didn't do well,
yeah,
they kept it as just number 4. So we do have the trilogy and then this, which sets up so much,
yeah,
and leaves us with, nothing to follow.
Yeah, definitely. I think it also pisses me off that I've got the trilogy box set as well, and I have to put this one separately.
Yeah,
they've never released
so
it as a full box set,
no.
so they're making that separation as well. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
the publishing company. Yeah,
it's not just me. They're separating it.
Yeah. I will say I've never spoke to Lon about Scream 4, but this has a weird color grading look throughout the whole thing. You know how we complain like 2008 paranormal horror films have that shitty look to them.
It's too blue, just like it is behind me right now.
Yeah. I feel like this suffers from that, definitely.
Yeah, so as you said, anyway, it's the 15th anniversary from the Woodsboro murders.
So go on.
So I think the main thing for this, for everyone, was seeing the characters be brought back into it, seeing how they could do the story a bit different, because I mean they've sort of gone all the directions you could have gone in with the first 3 films, in regards to like who the killer could be, and you know what I mean, without giving it away too much. Yeah. You've got Sydney who's wrote her own book now as well, and she's getting famous from writing that book. She's followed sort of like the pathway that Gail's done. Gail's carried on writing the books. Again, Sydney's just coming down off that PTSD from like the past 3 experiences that she's had with Ghostface, and then shit just starts kicking off again. What about that intro scene, Pearson? Like,
so the intro's an odd one, because going to what I said, where it does feel like, what is this casting? I don't feel like I know these characters even initially.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, they're watching Stab. And then it's like, oh, they're watching Stab in the new Stab, right?
Oh, yeah, it's fucking weird. And
just
like
a nice
3
head
times
fuck.
it happens.
Something like
3
that.
times,
yeah.
Because... Yeah, I know what you mean. At first, you're like, surely these characters aren't for real, because they seem a bit too like.
I don't know what it is about them, but they seem like
a bit too fake, don't it?
Fake, yeah. Fake is the perfect word for it. Like, they don't believe in the character themselves. How am I supposed to? And you're like, oh, that's why. Yeah,
it's clever, because again, they've got to think of something else now, like to sort of be even more meta than they was in the last film.
100%.
Like, how meta can you get? Do you know what I mean? Like. First film references horror films. The second, and also Wes Craven's films. The second one references the first film, the events of the first film. The third one references everything that's happened before that, but they're also not in the studio environment,
in a fake film within the film.
Yeah,
based on the first film.
It's just fucking crazy. Now this one, like, starts off a film within a film within a film based on the happenings of the other films. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a nice head fuck to kick you off.
How meta can you get? So, I mean, what the fuck's going to happen in Scream 2022? Like, that's going to be ultra fucking meta.
We're going to find out. It's
going to be exciting. Meta to get with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm looking forward to as well, the opening scene to this film.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, this opening better be strong.
And is it going to be a big character that's going to get killed off from the get-go, just to sort of be like, right, well...
We'll find out.
That's a different story.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's different.
We're not talking Scream.
We will be doing that.
Theories.
Not yet.
Yet.
I don't really have a lot to say about this, and I feel bad because...
I know what you mean. I'm the same. I've not got loads to say about it. I mean, bringing it to 2011 now, we're in the bit more of like the... It's bit more in the digital like internet age, and you've got stuff. It's not there's not a loads of live streaming going on, which this film's based on. Obviously,
but like you got those guys who are kind of like filling in what Randy would do.
Yeah,
are trying to give you what this new killer would do.
Yeah,
and
so you got the
it's on
college
the brink
kids
of like proper CCTV cameras placed because the killer's
100%.
filming it and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love the inclusion of new technology. Some of it's been throughout. I do like how we have like voice changes that don't exist in Scream 3, where I can do Matty's voice down this microphone, but I don't have like a smaller camera than this fucking massive CCTV cylinder.
That fucking Ghostface has to carry around with him everywhere.
Connect up, set up to the hotspot,
Yeah, you don't think about that. That must have been a baller, especially in 2011, setting up a hotspot for it.
Yeah, for sure. On 3G.
Yeah, it would have been 3G back then, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would have been shit when you think about it, wouldn't it? Especially in a barn as well, for the barn scene. It sets all
the barn is like the highlight of this whole movie, to me.
Yeah. Is he setting up a fucking portable modem in there somewhere? And like, like, what the hell is
laying
happening?
Wire out,
Yeah. Fucking hell. But just before we go into the burn scene as well, like just to talk about the overall cast, because you've got, again, it's based in this like, is it high school, college environment? And each one of these characters is a copy and paste of the original characters. So you've got another Randy in this film, who is played, which is Charlie, the character Charlie. Played by Rory Culkin, of all people, the little kid who pisses himself in Home Alone.
The Pepsi.
No one wants to sleep in the same room as him. Now he's the killer in Scream 4. Yeah, he's come a long way.
Yeah, no offense to him, but he does have a killer look anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Yeah. But you wouldn't think so. Obviously, he's the sort of Randy guy, and at the end of the film, he's saying how much, like, obviously, he even mentions himself that he's like the Randy of it, and Randy's the nerd's getting the girl.
Yeah.
Which Randy does mention in Scream 2, because he's like, well, what happens in the sequel? And Randy's like, well, I think it's like the nerd gets the girl or something like that.
Which
the guy
is
gets the girl, yeah.
In Scream 2, it kind of revealed, like, because he's always had a thing for Sydney.
Yeah.
And then, like, you see him kind of pursuing it, kind of not pursuing it.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And then Jill in this film, who is Sydney's cousin.
Yeah, so
he's basically the Sydney character, and then you've got again that relationship there again. So you've got the guy trying to get the girl, or like the sort of like the nerd trying to get the girl in this situation. You got the relationship between Charlie and Jill, which you don't see much, and then you see at the end, obviously, that they were both in cahoots.
Yeah,
which is cool to see as a wrap up at the end. What was you going to say anyway, mate?
Honestly, nothing. Carry on.
Nothing.
Because I really don't have much to say about Scream 4. I like the inclusion of new stuff. Again, we got to learn characters. I guess I kind of just forget about this film, which we know why.
Yeah.
I feel bad for saying that. It's not a bad film.
Yeah.
It's not a memorable film. No offense.
You've got a lot of character development though within it as well. If you think about it, so you've got Dewey, who's now a sheriff.
Yeah, you do.
He's the sheriff of Woodsboro. Like you never thought that was going to happen, but suddenly he's the sheriff. How the fuck he got sheriff? Nobody knows. But Dewey's sheriff.
Yeah, hang on. Cut to like the OG where he's like, "I'm 25. Guess I just must have just missed you. I was 24 for a whole year." That Dewey, the cringe Dewey, to now is a serious sheriff.
Yeah, he's responsible for a whole fucking town. Like,
and it's kind of like in this one, almost like a celebration festival thing that you see of like all the ghost face on the
Stabathon.
Stabathon. That's it. Yeah, throughout the town and stuff. It's being celebrated, which kind of freaky, kind of a nod to the town that dreaded sundown.
Yeah, it's got that vibes to it. Yeah, everyone go meeting up, watching the films on the anniversary of the killings, and
let's go watch stuff, guys.
But it's cool to obviously. So Jewish sheriff, girls come back in. Them two are are not really a thing anymore, which is crazy because obviously that's what happened in real life as well.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, they got married and they broke up, so that's sort of like two characters that are sort of following the same path as each other in real life as well, which is
big character development there to just follow their real lives.
Yeah,
you know.
And then you just get obviously a bit more Sid's family in this. You know what I mean? So
we're introduced to the cousin,
and it would be her auntie, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it'd be a mum's sister. Yeah. Who unfortunately dies, getting stabbed through the door. But yeah, it's cool. So seeing that side of it as well, and it's becoming even more personal for Sydney because her own family's dying, as well as her friends, and also her cousin's friends, and it's just fucking chaotic.
I suppose, like, if put yourself in the perspective of Sid, so let's say you're at the end of Scream 3, you're confronting Roman. Oh, you find out he's manipulated your, first boyfriend, Billy, and his friend. So maybe that is closure, especially with how many years have been since that, and now you've seen your family die again.
And then you've got Jill's motive of being the killer because Sydney's had the spotlight. It's always about Sydney. Sydney. It's like, I think that might have been a little thing for me in there. That sort of it was that a great review as well. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Which, why would you go killing everyone just because your cousin's like?
Well, maybe I'm a hypocrite
of all this.
Maybe I'm a hypocrite here because I'm saying I want that motive for number 2. So Mickey isn't the killer, but Haley is.
Okay,
that I can sell. But here, I have family. It'd be even higher stakes. You would be hearing Sydney all the time. So I don't know. Maybe it does work. Maybe I don't know what I want.
Yeah, I've not been in that position before. So
no, me either. Thank God. Touch wood.
Yeah, so that's crazy. And obviously, Charlie's character, he just wants Jill. End of the day. And he's the guy who knows all the stuff about horror films, and he wants to follow the rules or create his own rules. Where everything's getting filmed, and he's the tech guy for this, isn't he? He's the guy saying maybe we need to talk to Charlie about this because he was setting
Charlie,
that
are you setting
shit
these cameras up, mate?
Yeah, and getting that fucking brilliant broadband going because fucking set it up for me. We have no problems with a podcast.
Yeah, we can't do a simple Zoom call sometimes. So,
So what do you think about the ending of the hospital scene?
I like it.
Yeah,
like
Dewey nearly dying again.
Obviously, he has to at this point. If he doesn't almost die, never mind. I'm not going to say anything about the new one because we see him in a wheelchair in the trailer. So, I like it because it's a place that we've never visited in this world.
No,
but it feels like a classic horror film location. You think about Halloween 2 immediately, don't you, when you hear a hospital?
Yeah.
I like it. What do you think of it though?
I think it was a good way to tie the ending off because I thought Jill would have been dead, and then Sydney's in hospital. You think it's all over with, and I did enjoy that bit of the film. The fact that they brought Jill back into it, and then
I do like Emma Robertson. She plays Jill very, very well.
Oh, she pulls off fucking psychopath well in it, and she's good in American Horror Story and stuff like that. She suits that sort of.
She's a scream queen for a reason,
Well, yeah. But yeah, I like the hospital scene and that whole fight sequence and just how it all ended. It was pretty cool. It was a good way to tie it off. So at least they did that right.
Yeah, it does feel like one of those films where we're like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy with
it.
Not
complaining.
No.
So
kills.
Yeah, let's do favorite kills. What's some of your favorite kills here?
I've already wrote down one which stood out to me the most, and I've discussed it
before we
before we started this podcast.
Oh, cool.
For me, it's the Hoss and Perkins, the cops. It's their death. That scene's fucking sick. Like it's what you expect in a Scream movie. You know what I mean? You've got a bit of a comedy moment between the two characters, but then you've got this fucking grim and gory like scene as well to it. So it just starts off with them two just chatting in the car about like cops are always the ones who die in the films,
which is again another meta that we absolutely love.
And they're like, cops always die in films unless you're Bruce Willis. And then one of the cops, I can't remember whose name gets out of the car to go do a patrol around the house because obviously they're keeping an eye on, I think it's Sydney's cousin or something. And then as he's going out and he comes back and he starts chatting to the other cop, he gets stabbed, and then straight away the guy sat in the car, I can't remember who's playing him, but he's been in a few films as well. I think he's been in like scary movies, and he was in that Kangaroo Jack as well, if you remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's funny as fuck, but he gets stabbed right in the head, which is grim because you just see him just goes, ugh, and then all this blood's pouring down him. He gets out the car and he's like stumbling all over the place. And Ghostface, he's doing a Michael Myers. He's just standing there like sort of watching him and just tilting his head and just fucking watching him die. And then just before he dies, he collapses on the floor and goes, "Fuck Bruce Willis." And then he fucking flops on the floor. And it's like, yes.
Oh, I
love it. It's so good. So yeah, I did. That was like a highlight of the film for me, and it was a good death. And it's given that sort of grim side to Ghostface as well, like sort of mimicking like Michael Myers in that way, and enjoying the fact that, you know what I mean, watching this happen. It's creepy as fuck compared to. Do you know what I mean? It's got the sort of juxtaposed like thing between it. You've got the funny side, but then you've also got the side of like, fucking hell, this is a bit grim. This.
Yeah, 100%. My favorite kill is the one we watch through a window.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like the suspense is just built so nicely in that.
Oh, is it when they see him from the separate house and it's the house across the way? Yeah.
So you're in Jill's house, aren't you, with Sydney, and you're watching the friend be murdered.
And that's the first time I think Sydney sees. I might be wrong. Is that the first time Sydney sees Ghostface?
I'm gonna hold my hands up. I need to watch this again. I'm very annoyed at like now that we're talking about it. I'm like, there's nothing either standing out, or I need to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is not my most watched Scream movie. I've watched the other ones countless times, and I probably only watched this one.
Yeah,
probably like maybe 3 times, if that.
I feel bad because this is one of Jess's favorites as well. Like, this is up there for Jess, so like me and Jess watched these. I should know this, but maybe I check out. We do like horror films, to all the listeners listening to this section. Yeah, that's my favorite. Let's quickly talk about the poster, because I think this has one of the coolest posters in it, where you got like the profile of the mask with the knife as the chin.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I thought he was going to mention the other one where it's like, because there is an alternative one as well where you've got this, and it's like, it reminds me of like a Chinese film. Do you know, like a Chinese like karate film, like that?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, font on it. Not keen on that, but I do really like the whole knife.
The mask with the knife is one of my favorite posters.
Yeah,
for all the Scream movies.
Yeah, no, it is awesome.
Yeah. All right, so that's 4. Let's end 4 there. Let's talk about your ratings for each one, your ranking, should I say? What's your favorite to least?
So my favorite one is obviously going to be Scream.
Has to be
original.
I completely agree with that.
Second one, Scream 3. Third one, Scream 2, and then final one, Scream 4. That's my rankings of the films.
Mine's the exact same.
Is it?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I feel like that's the only sensible order. I mean, maybe I've got to watch 4 again after talking about it, especially considering nothing jumps out except Emma Roberts plays Jill fantastic. Like, that's all that really stands out to me. But yeah. So.
Wrapped up.
This wraps up our Scream franchise talk. I will say one thing that we've not talked about, but I feel doesn't get enough credit, is the Scream franchise. Not the Scream franchise, Scream series on Netflix.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like that's so good because, You know, that's the most modern Scream, incorporating our smartphones and the blackmail you see and stuff like that. And we're just going to see that, I think, even more in these new ones, which is exciting.
Yeah. At first, I remember first watching this Scream TV series when it came out for the first time, and I'm not going to lie, I wasn't keen on it at first. And
I think it's easy to disregard it.
Yeah. I left it for a while, and then I came back to it, and I was like, I've been missing out. Why did I not carry on watching
Especially considering, like, you disregard it because it's like, oh, it's not Ghostface, it's Brandon James.
Yeah.
But that mask is so good as well, and
Well, I think what put me off as well, I think at the time, is I was watching Riverdale. That had a similar sort of vibe, because it's sort of like it's like that MTV, like teen college vibe to it, and I was like, oh, like it can get a bit too much at first.
It can, I agree.
And then Riverdale went and fucked itself up and started becoming a musical, turned into Glee. So I stopped watching it there. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going back. I'm going to go rewatch the Scream TV series, and I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe Wes had a hand in that as well before, unfortunately, passing away. Which, you know, that's the last time he touched anything called Scream.
Yeah, it's quite sad that, and this is the reason why I'm looking forward to seeing the new one as well. Just seeing how well they paid homage as well for Wes Craven, and I know a lot of the people there obviously knew him well and grew up watching the films.
Yeah, of course.
And also just worked with him a lot. So a lot of people obviously will have the understanding of what he probably would have wanted to go for. So
also, like, we should say the guys that are doing it are, you know, the directors of Ready or Not, which I completely trust them. That film was so good. Have you watched it yet, Matty? So we talk. Oh my gosh! So anyone listening to this, I think you have. I feel like we messaged about this. The bride that marries into the family that is rich from board games, and turns out they made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
They play hide and seek on the wedding night. You watch it?
I fucking can't remember, mate.
Wow.
Honestly, there's so many.
I feel like you would if you watched it.
Yeah.
So yeah, for anyone listening, in our last Horror Fest, we did Ready or Not and spoke about it, but Matty never watched it, so I was just chasing him now, and turns out he hasn't watched it, so that was fun. But yeah, the only thing I'm a bit sad about is we haven't spoken about the music.
Yeah, we touched on it on Scream 2, where we're on about like everything's coming to a big thing for the dramatic
Marco Beltrami's score for all 4 of these was amazing.
Perfect, mate.
I'm very disappointed he's not doing the new one.
Yeah.
But,
like, I think there's a track called Sydney's Lament, and that just captures it perfectly. We watched the films with the ghostly, like, it's like the woman's voice that's echoing throughout, and the sort of Nine Inch Nails vibe to the tracks as well in points. It's very 90s, but it fits the film perfectly.
Yeah. So good. But, I mean, it's Brian Tyler doing the new one. It should be great anyway. But
yeah,
I'm sure we'll hear some of those themes from another perspective, which is what happens with plenty of composers and stuff like that for franchises. I think that wraps it up, doesn't it?
It does.
Right. So for anyone listening, watching, thank you so much for checking out the first episode. We'll be doing plenty more watch-alongs, lots of games about horror. If you're a horror fan, you know where to follow. It's at an Earful podcast everywhere. And Scream 5, or just Scream as the title is out January 14th, this Friday. If you listen to this on the day of recording, we'll definitely be covering that. But yeah.
And if you haven't watched the film yet, go and watch our Scream video reaction as well, which is up on our channel, and also
definitely
on podcasting platforms if you want to hear our sort of predictions and our thoughts on the trailer.
Yeah, we definitely jump into some theories. And if you're not hyped enough after this, definitely check that one out. We'll pin it, definitely. Yeah. Again, thank you so much for listening, watching. See you on the next one.